secrets of the City of Wisdom, or legends about an alien masterpiece. The Hopi Native American tribe is a Native American tribe living in Arizona for several thousands of years. The so-called aristocracy of this tribe calls themselves the KACHINAS. Until now, a legend has been passed down from generation to generation that the KACHINAS are the descendants of creatures that descended from the sky gods. Allegedly, these were people who had flown from the stars and sent to earth by gods. And according to legends, mysterious creatures built a grandiose city, the main masterpiece of which was a temple where they worshipped wisdom and higher intelligence. The place was called Palatguapi, which means red house. It was here that guests from outer space taught the Native American Indians some mysterious rites, subtleties of magic, as well as deep knowledge about the universe. Scientists still cannot determine exactly where this place was located, and they are wondering if this city really existed, then where did it disappear to? Children of star beings? The territory where these Indians live is of rare beauty. The landscapes there are unique. Mountains alternate with valleys, characterized by bizarre landscapes. There's also one of the natural masterpieces of the world, the Grand Canyon, of course. It seems that this place is more than any other suitable for the great temple city, built according to legends by space aliens. And today only a few stone settlements have survived in those places. Presumably this is all that remains of the ancient city, and this is where the Hopi Native American Reservation is located. They're peaceful people engaged in agriculture, and they grow corn, pumpkins, and beans, the most common crops among the Indians. Their language is very similar to the Aztec. The mystery of the disappearance of the city. The Hopi tribe preserved historical information about the city, this ancient city, according to which this metropolis, in modern terms, was surrounded by blank walls, which were also very high. The name Red House also did not arouse by chance, but from the connection with the existence of a large cliff of red stone. However, no one has ever seen such cliffs in those places. And once upon a time there were ancient Native American temples here, but as a result of great ancient floods they were completely destroyed. There is a chronicle called The Myth of the Mayan Flood, which describes this catastrophe in all details, and mentions of it are also found in the records of the surviving temple walls, but the city of Palatguapi was destroyed not by flood but by fire. Under mysterious circumstances, the surrounding pine forest caught fire. This refutes the hypothesis of some scientists. Palatguapi was one of the Mayan cities in particular. Palenque, around which only tropical jungle grew, there were no pine trees there. To calculate the location of the city, scientists tried to track the routes of various Indian clans that traveled to the sacred city and then moved in the opposite direction. The natives leaving to the north built settlements along the way, where they remained for the winter. Sometimes circumstances forced them to stay there for several years. Villages settled down and turned into towns and cities. Generations changed, and the reality of the existence of the city turned out to be a big question. All this began to be treated as a fairy tale that grandmothers tell children at night. The Indians eventually reached the Colorado River. Not far from those places is now the city of Winslow. They settled there, founding a settlement called Homolovi, which means small town. And after some time, they began clashes with other native tribes, the Apaches, and then another legend appeared about two brothers who single-handedly managed to defeat the entire enemy army. And of course, these young men were considered gods. After all, the Apaches stopped their raids, and the Hopis were scattered over large areas. Interesting facts about the city. The Hopi tribe has its own original calendar, which is fundamentally different from all known ones. Time periods they call worlds. There were 4 worlds in their history. The first and second are marked by the construction of a great city, and the end of the third world is marked by its destruction. Accordingly, now they have the 4th world. And according to the Hopi legends and beliefs, at that time the representatives of their people had an open point on their heads. The Hindu calls this a chakra, and the Hopi Indians called it a kopavi. In modern terms, it was a portal through which they were allowed to touch with the gods. They were always in touch with the gods. These creatures gave them projects that the Indians easily translated into reality. The KACHINAS generally possessed supernatural knowledge and skills, so the construction of a huge city was not a problem for them. And the Hopi tribe has several versions about the construction of the city, but their opinions agree on one thing: the city was built by the KACHINAS, and the whole process was under their control. The sequence was as follows. First of all, they built a temple, then they surrounded the territory with high walls, and then it was the turn of outbuildings and residential buildings. Of course, the temple complex was the most important object for them. It included 2 buildings. Initiates, in other words, priests, lived in one, and various ceremonies were held in the other. And the second building was very reminiscent of modern Pueblo-style houses. It had 4 floors and was surrounded by terraces. The building had 3 entrances. The main one went to east and the other 2 to the north and south. The shape of the building was pyramidal. The first floor of the building was a kind of elementary school. Here the initiates studied history. They were explained the meaning of the purpose for each of the 4 worlds. The floor above was teaching everything related to the structure of the human body and its functioning. The KACHINAS taught that the mind is needed to understand the operation of the Great Spirit in man. The purpose of such training was to prevent the development of evil in people, since such a thing had already been and became the cause of the destruction of previous worlds. On the 3rd floor, classes were held to study the natural secrets and characteristics of different plants to create medicines. Only those who had passed the previous 3 stages of training were allowed on the 4th floor. There was a study of everything connected with the stars, the movement of planets, the influence of the sun, moon, and constellations on the weather, crops, and the human body. They also learned to keep the kopavi always open. There are a lot of stories about the descendants of the gods on the American continent. All of them are common among the Indians. Similar legends can be heard not only among the Hopi Native Americans, but also the natives of other tribes. However, the answer to the question regarding the existence of a great city and the one who built it has never been found, yet many Indians continue to believe that one day their stellar ancestors will fly in again and take them back with them. And this article is on Solask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.